So far, nothing in it. Well, not much in it. One wicket has gone down, but similar score. It has the makings, this, of a really tight game.
Tawatia finish in the last over.
And there's Rashid Khan as well. He's a joker in the pack as well for the Gujarat Titans. He's so unpredictable, hits the ball so well. I mean, earlier in the tournament, he took 4 for 13 and scored 82 not out or 79 not out. It was something like that, and he ended up finishing on the losing side. That's a day out of that, a day and a half out, and his team lost the game. He's dangerous with the bat as well. Right, here's Chahar for his third over. Low pull towards deep back with square leg. He's picked out Patirana there on the boundary. Actually, I think it's Tikshana right there at deep back of square leg. Got a single. Hardik Pandya to 6, 33 for 1.
I feel like this is a bit of a gamble here by Milestone in this over. Third over from Chahar. You don't often see bowlers bowling 3 overs in a row, especially the same player. But he's obviously trying to get his overs of seam out the way, and then expect to see sort of 12 overs of spin almost in the middle from 6 to 18.
Chahar looks as though he's been in the sauna for about 30 minutes. Sweat's pouring off him. Shubman Gill, well, he's got shiny cheeks, but he looks a bit cooler. 14 not out. Chahar bowls a sort of floaty, slower ball that looked like a half volley, and it was driven by Gill and not really timed. He sort of came off the shot. I think he deceived him slightly there. A slower ball towards mid-off. Got a single anyway. Gill to 15, 34 for 1. Oh, these are two wonderful players to watch, Hardik Pandya and Shubman Gill. They play in their own way. But, the sort of players, when they're out in the middle, you don't want to be, I don't know, chatting with your friends behind the stand or whatever, getting drinks. You want to be sitting watching this.
Yeah, they have such style, and the way this just looks so composed at the crease. Shubman Gill in particular just looks at that little bit of quality above the rest, doesn't it, at the moment.
Chennai know they can break this partnership. It'll be such a big boost for them. It's a pull on the bounce towards Gaikwad on the deep back of square leg boundary. I mean, Hardik, wonderful shot, really. Hit that so well. He was nearly caught. Skipped off the turf just in front of Ruturaj Gaikwad. I mentioned earlier, has taken more outfield catches than anyone. He was nearly in business there. He looked as if he was prepared to gamble. He knew it was Pandya, big wicket, and he wanted to come in and try and take the catch, but even he realised in the end that if he'd probably come in and tried to take the catch, he would have bounced fractured in front of him and probably bounced over and gone for 4.
Yeah, good decision there from the fielder.
Just to hang back. Gill on 15, on strike, 35 for 1. Chahar moves into Gill. Gill manufactures a shot there where he gets the ball outside the off-stump, which he taps away into the onside on the pull, but couldn't beat the inner ring on the onside, so it's a dot ball.
Yeah, it was that slow ball again from Chahar. He sort of holds it back in the palm of his hand. It's almost like a palm ball or a knuckleball of sorts. And it's just to see if Shubman Gill, who's famous for that short arm pull over mid-wicket, hits it hard and flat. Big 2 balls coming up.
Yeah, it's a fascinating contest, this. 2 top quality players out there. Pitch not as true as some that have played on so far in this season's IPL. 173 the target, 35 for 1 in the 5th. 2 balls left therefore in Chahar's over. His third. Bowls to Shubman Gill. Gill comes down the pitch and tries to hoik that into the leg side, and there's a bit of bagatelle there. Pinball. It struck the bowler and hit the batter at the non-striker's end, or just hit the Hardik Pandya. Prevented any run whatsoever. Interesting, Gill there prepared to come down the pitch and try and take Chahar on. That shot was another dot ball. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, it deflected. Yeah, I thought it had. It deflected off the bowler onto Hardik Pandya and then nearly onto the stumps, but Hardik was back and his bat down behind the line. Chahar, last ball the over, bowls to Gill, who cracks his away. It's going out towards the deep mid-wicket stroke, wide long on boundary. It's gone away for 4. That was the Shubman Gill of Sunday. Perhaps didn't get it perfectly, but he got about 97% of it. It takes him to 19 at the end of the over. So a welcome boundary, another pace-off delivery, but Gill was onto it. He's in some form.
Yeah, that was telegraphed there from Shubman Gill, that knuckleball again, bowled into the wicket, but he was sat there already waiting for it, wasn't he? And that boundary off the last ball again, captain's nightmare. But still a good over there from Chahal. You conceding 7 runs from it. I think you take that at this stage. Takes Gujarat to 39 for 1 off 5. So we see Atif Nawaz joining us in the commentary box.
Indeed, thank you so much. Yeah, Mahesh Deekshana is about to come in to bowl the final over of the power play. This is an intriguing contest already. We did have a sort of like a private chat halfway through the innings. I suspected Chennai would come out on top. Just, you know, runs on the board in a big match, in an eliminator position, home crowd, lots of options with the ball. It felt like they would, but there was the Shubman Gill factor, which you pointed out. Here's Deekshana in with his first ball. It's full. It's been driven down the ground to long on for an agreed single by Hardik Pandya. He moves on to 8. Gujarat 40 for 1 after 5.1. And yeah, Chahar has been very, very... Well, I think he's been very effective, sort of. I mean, he's not really done too much damage yet, but he did get that 1 wicket, and he's managed to hold the players back. Here's Deekshana again now, as that ball's defended back to him. A dot ball, which is applauded by the partisan crowd in Chennai tonight. Score remains 40 for 1. Just looking at those 2 fielders out in the deep, there's a long on and a deep mid-wicket in place. Is Gill going to try and go inside out over the cover fielders? Here's Deekshana again. Gill tries to do just that, but he didn't try and go aerial. And there's a great diving stop at mid-off.
It's well fielded.
Just a single for Shubman Gill on that occasion. 41 for 1. 5.3 overs gone. The Chennai Super Kings had 49 for no loss from their power play. And they really struggled to get going until right at the sort of death end of their innings. As right now, Gujarat trying to force the pace. Substitute fielder there, Sheikh Rashid, who did the work. Here's Deekshana in again, as Hardik makes a bit of room, plays the ball to extra cover. Moeen Ali fields, there is no run. Second dot ball of the over. Only 2 balls of the power play to go. Wonder what's running through Hardik Pandya's mind. Is he looking around the field now, trying to work out where the boundaries are at? The fielder from square leg is running across to extra cover just to bolster that region. As Pandya looks to thread the gap.
There's plenty of gaps on the leg side there. No one out on the sweep, leg side.
Deekshana, and he comes again, keeping it outside off. That's gone up in the air, and the catch is taken at point. While Hardik Pandya was looking to find the gap in the covers, that ball came onto him quickly. It went aerial, and the catch was taken. Gujarat Titans lose their 2nd wicket in the power play. 41 for 2. 1 ball to come in the 6th. What an over this has been from Mahesh Deekshana. 2 runs and the wicket from it with a ball to go.
And it's the captain, Hardik Pandya, who goes. Just gave himself a little bit of room, favouring the offside. Just got a bit of a top edge on it. It's spooned up to Jadeja at backward point, who's not going to drop that. And Pandya, who timed every ball when he was out there, looked so good. Just got a little bit frustrated those last 2 deliveries hitting the field, and has paid the price there. So a huge wicket there for CSK. Gujarat Titans 42 for 2.
Yeah, Titans in a bit of trouble. Deekshana putting on the pressure. It's Pandya as well, who has to go. He's just trudging back. It's a sort of helpless position to be as a captain when you've made your contribution in the field and you've got no more contribution to make with the bat. You just sit in the dugout and hope your teammates can get you over the line. Remember, they finished top of the league comfortably. 3 points ahead of 2nd place Chennai did the Gujarat Titans, and now they're in a very precarious position. They could have to win 1 more match to make it through to the final if they lose this game. A strategic timeout is available as well. I suspect we'll see it at the end of the power play. Some worried looking faces in the Gujarat Titans contingent.
Yeah, slightly behind here. At the same stage at the end of the power play. CSK were 49 for no loss.
It's Dasun Shanaka, the new batter. Very accomplished and experienced T20 player. Here comes Deeksana, his countryman, who beats him outside the off stump. There's a play and a miss at that from Shanaka as the ball goes through to the keeper. Deeksana was all over the Gujarat batters in that over. 1 for 2 from his first over. And the Titans 41 for 2 at the end of the power play. Right now, if it was points, if it was boxing, the Chennai Super Kings would be ahead on points.
Certainly. I think they've won every round out there at the moment. But with Shubman Gill at the crease, I still feel that the Titans will be in this game. But Jadeja will be in the attack. Moeen Ali, of course, to bowl as well.
Many options. It's going to be Jadeja who's going to be next for Mahendra Singh Dhoni's men. Yeah, we mentioned that quite spectacular 100 that Shubman Gill hit in the previous game. It's worth mentioning that Virat Kohli also hit a 100 in that game. Back-to-back hundreds for him. He ended up in the losing cause as this ball's a shorter one from Jadeja. It's been worked out towards the deep cover boundary and is going to get there. Another boundary for Shubman Gill. He's playing on a different surface to everybody else at the moment. 45 for 2 of 6.1 overs.
Again, just such good batting. Fraction short, fraction wide from Jadeja. But he's rocked back and he's just placed the ball lovely. Just thought the ball always spins one way. Kept spinning towards third man.
This time, tighter length from Jadeja, played into the onside defensively by Gill for no run. Yeah, it's just thinking about those 200s from Virat Kohli back to back. It's possible Shubman Gill goes and gets another one. Here's Jadeja. That ball's driven nicely by Gill, but straight to Moeen Ali at extra cover. There is no run.
You can just hear that crowd, can't you? Every dot ball, just building the pressure on the Titan batters.
It's a very partisan crowd, as we say, as that ball turns sharply. Goodness me, turn and bounce from Ravindra Jadeja as the batter, Shubman Gill, sort of pulls away in almost disgust looking at the surface. Came out of nowhere. What happened there, Warren?
I think it's gone through the top of the wicket. We said it was dry, so it's fired in. It's a bit of a puff of dust, and it's turned to bounce the mile.
A similar trajectory, this ball from Jadeja, but Gill gets a bit of bat to it, works it to backward point. There is no run, and you hear that crowd cheer. It's 4 dot balls in a row here from Ravindra Jadeja. My goodness, the atmosphere. It's like if this was sort of professional wrestling, you'd know which one was the good guy and which one was the bad guy, wouldn't you? Here's Jadeja in again. As that run of dot balls comes to an end with a single out towards mid-wicket from Shubman Gill, who will keep the strike. A good start from Jadeja, though, just the 5 of his first over. Gujarat 46 for 2 after 7.
Yeah, I think it'd have to favour CSK now, the bowling side, when you see the ball turning and bouncing like that. They've got 3 more than useful spinners in their attack. Bowlers with variations. MS Dhoni behind the stumps, just marshalling the troops. All that experience out there with Rahane as well. These CSK guys have been there before. They know what it takes to get into finals and to win big trophies. Just using that experience. Crowd behind them.
They've won multiple IPL titles alongside the Mumbai Indians, the most successful teams in IPL history. Well, the Gujarat Titans, the defending champions, let's not forget, are struggling at the moment. They're 2 wickets down for 47 in the beginning of the 8th over. The ball is starting to turn as well a little bit, and we've yet to see Moeen Ali introduced into the attack, but the way the surface is playing out, it's inevitable that he will be. At the moment, the Chennai Super Kings ahead with the Gujarat Titans on 47 for 2. That was a little update for our listeners on 5 Live, as the previous ball from Mahesh Deeksana was played into the onside by Shanaka for his first runs. He's on to 2 of 2. Titans 1 away from a 50.
Well, Shanaka should be used to Deeksana, shouldn't he? We've faced him countless times in the nets over the years.
You'd think, yeah.
So he should be able to read his variations.
There's always that expectation, isn't there? Deeksana in, lots of flight, and Shanaka drives down to long on for a single. There's that expectation of doing well against your fellow countrymen, but it can't be that easy. I mean, if you think about it, just in England, if it's, I don't know, if it's Sam Curran bowling to, let's say, Moeen Ali, yeah, they'll see a bit of each other in England colours, but they won't see too much of each other in the county championship, and certainly not other franchises.
Yeah, and he works both ways, doesn't it?
Deeksana into Gill. This is a little bit shorter. Gill waits on it and works it out towards the backward square leg region for a single.
I think like someone like Theekshana, he might have a very good record against Shanaka in the nets. You know, he might be someone that he feels very confident bowling that. So it can work both ways, and it's always great to see. I think we saw Sam Curran at Jason Roy in the IPL last week, and it's good to see the little matchups.
Here's Shanaka driving again, but only as far as Moeen Ali at extra cover. There is no run. I mean, there had to be one as well when you were playing Varun. Like, it must have been players in your team that you just did not fancy facing up to in the nets.
Yeah, I think when you move counties, you face them, so you're like hoping you're not on that end. But
here is the final ball of the over, which Shanaka plays down the ground to long on for a single. 8 overs gone. Gujarat Titans 52 for 2. Yeah, come on then, give us some names, Varun. Who did you not like facing up to in the nets?
Dave Masters was one for me. He was obviously the Kent and Essex man. But when you faced him in the nets at Essex, and it was always hard work, regardless of what surface it was hard work. And then obviously when I moved to Warwickshire, had a couple of games against him. You kind of knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
But you kind of couldn't really do much about it at the same point. So that was one instance when, regardless of how many overs you faced of him in the game, it didn't really help you when it came to a match situation. Some bowlers it does. Generally the bowlers with the nice smooth actions that have little tells, that's where you can get a little head start as a batsman.
Here's Jadeja with his smooth action. That ball's been pushed to backward point. They run through for a single. Shanaka on to 5, 53 for 2 off 8.1.
Yeah, someone say like a Chris Wokes. Classical, beautiful action. Such a great wrist, but you learn how to read his in-swinger, away-swinger, wobble seam delivery eventually after many, many times of getting out in the net. So that's where it can help.
There's Jadeja again. Back of a length, but Gill able to work that into the onside. It's MS Dhoni who runs from behind the stumps to field. There is a single taken.
Yeah, the run rate just creeping up now. Over 10 runs and over required. Gujarat Titans need to keep an eye on that. I think chasing 12 and over on this surface, anything more than 5 overs will be a real challenge.
This is shorter to Shanaka, who's completely beaten by the bounce again. It's the second ball we've seen sort of take off from a length from Ravindra Jadeja. Another dot ball. There's demons in the surface. He's back in again as Jadeja. This is Fuller. Driven down the ground to long on for a single by Shanaka. In these singles, I suppose they sort of serve a purpose, but ultimately they will continue to build pressure as that required run rate goes higher.
Yeah, it just looks like an MS Dhoni master plan at the moment, doesn't it? Get runs on the board, squeezes your spinners.
Here's Jadeja again. Down the track comes Gill, plays the ball to extra cover. Moeen Ali fields again, and there is no run. Nearly squeezed that one through to Jadeja. He saw Shubman Gill coming.
Just held back, didn't he? Shubman Gill picked the right ball.
Jadeja in again. Big sweep from Shubman Gill, and that's going to go one bounce into the fence in the leg side. Terrific shot. Waited on it nicely and slapped it away. What a boundary. And as the umpire finishes signalling the boundary, he also signals the strategic timeout. 2 minutes and 30 seconds of chat about strategy.